Hey guys, this week we're talking about favorite underrated books, and I'm gonna go really quick on this one because I'm just busy, okay? So the books I picked are not necessarily books that have gotten bad reviews, and they're not books that have gone unnoticed by the blogosphere. I'm talking about they're underrated in the general term. The general public does not have a super awareness of these books. Well, I'm super eloquent today. So I just picked a couple off my shelf and I'm just gonna show them to you. The Near Witch by Victoria Schwab. This was one of my favorite books last year, and actually a couple of these were as well. But this is a fairy tale-like story about a girl and a boy who go to rescue children that have been taken by a mysterious force, and it's so good. The writing is incredible on this one, and I think that's a common theme with all these books that I've picked. It's not necessarily the premise that draws you in, but rather the writing. The Near Witch is an excellent book, and it came out last year, and I would just really recommend it. Speaking of excellent writing, Imaginary Girls by Nova Rensuma, and I guess this one isn't going to be so unnoticed anymore because apparently the Obama sisters are reading it now, which good for them. They picked some high-quality YA literature right here. This is about two sisters and their bond, which is kind of creepy. This book is very different, and I think a lot of people will like it and a lot of people will think it's just too strange for them. But that's something that you have to decide for yourself, and I would really recommend that you try out Imaginary Girls. It's just breathtaking. Ruby Red by Kirsten Gier. This one is one that I think fell under the radar for a lot of people, but it's impeccably written. It's translated from German, I believe, and the translator just did a fantastic job of keeping the language very sophisticated. And this book, I feel like it kind of takes place in the past because of the way it's written. It's very eloquent and kind of high class, but yet still modern. I really enjoyed this one. It's a time travel novel, but its romance is just so delightfully pure, and I think that's part of what makes Ruby Red so excellent, is it's a good story and the romance is just right. It's just right. Speaking of great romance, Virtuosity by Jessica Martinez. This one is another one that has great romance in it, but it's a very different type of romance. The main focus of this book, though, is a girl who has performance anxiety and who takes medication for it and who starts becoming overly dependent on those medications. This book does a great job of understanding what it means to be anxious, and I think the writer did such a great job of portraying that. And also it's about music, and I love that it's focused on music because music is such a great thing, and it's amazing when someone can take something that's a sound and put it into writing and make it feel like music too. So I would recommend Virtuosity very much. And finally, I'd like to talk about an upcoming book that I think will fly under the radar. It's The Lost Girl by Sangu Mandana. This book is amazing. It's so thoughtful and creative. It's about a girl who's created in order to replace someone else when she dies. This girl is thrown into someone else's life. She's been raised to be someone else, and she's trying to become her own person, but it's really difficult when she's being told that she's supposed to be this other girl. And when she finally gets placed in her new family to be this other girl, she's kind of lost. Hence the title. This book has parallels to Frankenstein too, so if you're a fan of that book, with the creator-created relationship going on, it's very good for that. The phone's ringing. I have to wait for it to stop. The Lost Girl comes out in August, and I just really don't want this one to fly under your radar. It's so good, it's really well written, and it's a great story. Completely hooks you and will make you feel a lot of different feels, as they say on the internet. So those are my underrated books. I hope that you enjoyed what I had to recommend.